Yeah, you guys. Maybe like you're not good enough, maybe. You know, maybe the things that you feel like you need in your life to be happy in this earth you have on this planet, however long that may be, you can't have it, right? For whatever your scenario was, whatever your situation was. For some reason, you feel like you can't have those things. Like you just need to be unhappy and cut ties to the losses and just call it that. Well, hopefully, you hear what I'm going to say tonight as unprepared as I am. Because I think maybe it'll shed some clarity on those feelings. Whoever's up here is really short of me. Anyways.
Here's your mother.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys about a real quick story. I know everybody wants to get out of here because it's a little late, but a real quick story. Has anyone ever heard of Andrew Carnegie? Yes. Okay, so a lot of you. Has anyone ever heard of Napoleon Hill? Less than you probably. Okay, so for those of you who don't know who Andrew Carnegie was, he was an industrialist. He did a lot of things in his lifetime, but he's most famous for steel, right? He had a monopoly of the steel industry. It's kind of, but he was very successful. He sold his company to J.P. Morgan for $410 million at the time, which today is equivalent to $310 billion. And at the time, he had just surpassed John D. Rockefeller, which most of you probably do know, as one of the richest men in history. That was the moment in Carnegie's life where he actually surpassed Rockefeller's net worth. But it was entirely liquid, right? Everything, the entire purchase was done in cash, so it was the equivalent of $410 billion in cash, which is incredible. Never been done before, and it was a really, really big deal. But Carnegie, he was unsatisfied with what he had done in his life. He had done some pretty sketchy stuff. If you want to read about it, you can look up all kinds of things he did. He was relatively selfish. He lived by what Adam Smith would call the vile maxim, all for one and none for anybody else. But he wanted to make an impact in the world. And he really had a lot of conviction for it in his life. And of course he donated massive amounts of money. That's why you hear about Carnegie Hall. I mean, there's just a lot of things that he's done monetarily, but he didn't feel like that was enough. He wanted to give a gift to later generations, people after him, and even the ones around him. One of those people around him was called Napoleon Hill. He wrote a book with Andrew Carnegie. It's a very famous book, and there's a lot of references to the book. There are a lot of books written on the book. That's not too complicated. But the whole purpose of the book is Andrew Carnegie wanted to deliver a message because he had this kind of weird belief that fundamentally, dynamically, people can follow a certain set of steps, a certain science to change their outlook on life, an outlook that he came to later in his life. That people who have these feelings like they can't have what they want, like they're helpless, like these things that they see other people have, this happiness that they feel like they can never have, it's so far to reach, and they feel so helpless that there's no way that they could ever have those things. There's no way that they could ever be happy. There's no way they could have those families just because of their circumstances, because of their lack of education, because of the decisions they made whenever they were my age or younger. He wanted to sit down with a group of very, very, very educated men and develop some rules, a science, some facts that just hold true throughout people's lives that they can cling to and really attach themselves to, and hopefully attain success, whatever that is for them, whether it's a family, whether it's muscles, whether it's money, whatever it is. And the person he chose for whatever reason was Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill was very uneducated. He had no formal education. He had made a lot of mistakes. He was very young at the time he met Andrew Carnegie. And he had a lot of issues. But Andrew Carnegie wanted to work with Napoleon Hill just to prove a point. You know, lack of education means nothing. Anyways, there's a famous story of him talking to Mr. Hill on his golf course or whatever it was. I don't know, I have a lot of time to prepare, but it was somewhere around his big old house he had. And he was talking to Napoleon Hill, and he was telling him the story. He said, Andrew Carnegie was saying that every man or woman has, now there's no dogma in this, okay, so it's very symbolic, it's all metaphor, so please bear with me. It's just simple. But he said to Napoleon Hill that every man and woman has the equivalent at birth of 2 envelopes. They're given 2 envelopes, and they have this even before their first breath. And they carry it with them throughout their entire lives, and neither envelope is permanent. You know, neither envelope. Really, you have to decide to cling to your whole life. Well, let me just share through this inside the envelope. I took notes actually, which I never do, so you guys should probably feel pretty special. So hopefully you take something from this. But the first envelope is labeled. It's kind of long, so. The riches you may enjoy if you take possession of your own mind and direct it to the ends of your own choice. Now, it's kind of a lot. I don't know about the reality of this. I don't know if you really memorized all this and was telling Napoleon Hill this on the golf course, but the first envelope was labeled the riches you may enjoy if you take possession of your own mind and direct it towards what it means. You know, the riches. The second envelope is labeled the penalties you must pay if you neglect to take power of your own mind and direct it towards whatever ends you see fit. Now, before I tell you what's in each envelope, I want to preface this by saying Andrew Carnegie was religious, and the foundation of this entire presentation is that it is man's or woman's unchallengeable right, one of the greatest gifts God has ever given us, to have power over our own minds. Isn't that incredible? It's one of the greatest gifts we've ever been received, and it's been called the unchallengeable right of man. Kind of gives me goosebumps when I hear it, but it really does. You get to decide what you do. You get to decide if you accept Christ into your heart. But you also get to decide a lot of other things in this life. And that's, well, first let me share this real quick. Inside the first one, the first envelope with labeled the riches you may enjoy if you take possession of your own mind, is sound health. That's not nice. Peace of mind. Labor of love of your own choice, whatever you mean by that. Freedom from fear and worry. A positive mental attitude and material riches of your own choice and quantity, whatever you want. And in the second envelope, the one labeled the penalties you must pay if you neglect to take possession of your own mind, is ill health, fear and worry, indecision and doubt, frustration and discouragement throughout your entire life, poverty and want, coveting, a whole flock of evil consisting of envy, greed, jealousy, anger, hatred, and superstition. Wow. That's kind of powerful, right? The point of this exercise, or to look at this metaphor, well, first, what do we take from it, right? We take, what did he mean by this? Obviously, you actually have 2 physical envelopes, and obviously there's a lot of weird talk in this. I don't know how. He talked like this all the time, by the way. Like everything, all of his quotes, he was real weird like this, but he was. But the purpose of it Right? What does it mean to take control of your own mind? What does that mean? What does it mean to be happy? What does it mean to have what you want? Yeah, please tell me. Decide to be happy, right? What else?
Having joy.
Having joy in the moment, right? What about long-lasting peace in this life? Because this life isn't long. But why is it that our school isn't perfect? Our churches financially struggle. Why do God's people not have the best things? You know, we're not exactly where we should be. Why is that? You know, we're not perfect, of course. But that's what this whole thing is about. We're not perfect. Why aren't you happy? Why don't you have the life that you want? Why don't you have the job that you want, the income that you want, the car that you feel like your family needs, the house that you feel like your children deserve, enough food? I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what happiness is for you. I don't know what you want out of this short life. But regardless of what it is, if you don't have what you want, if you don't have what you need, if you're missing out on those kind of things in life, you don't have to. You can have anything you need in this life. There's nothing keeping you from happiness. The very decision to accept God into your heart falls upon you and you alone.
Amen.
Let alone every other small decision you make throughout life. Why are some of us overweight? Why are some of us so filled with self-hatred? Why are some of us so insecure, and we can't develop proper relationships with the one around us? And even beyond the people in this room, why do some of us commit some of these horrible things? I know it's, we want to play the victim because we are victims, in a way. We want to play the victim because it's Satan's fault, it's Lucifer's fault, whatever you want to call it. But the decision at the end of the day, the unchallengeable gift, the unchallengeable right of man or woman is to take control of our own mind and make that decision for ourselves. Isn't that right? Isn't that incredible? Anyways, so think about these things. Think about these things that you want in your life, whatever they may be. I don't know. Kelly, what's one thing you want in your life that you don't have? You feel like you need a home, a good solid home. Perfect. Now, there's lots of other things, right? Just like a home. And to a Christian, of course, she must have come speaking to me. But of course, you don't need these things. God provides. But God works through us. If you're hungry, who feeds you? Does a sandwich fall from the sky? If you have no food, who brings it to you? Does it just magically appear in your kitchen, or does your brother or sister from your church, school, family, or work, or a complete stranger from God send you a sandwich? Now, like the conversation we had in the van earlier, I'm not going to go into it, what we did, that person who gave the food lived by their own conviction. They made that decision themselves. They didn't have to feed you. They didn't have to do any of that. God doesn't make anybody do anything. He never has. He's not a tyrant. We have control over our own mind. We live by our own convictions. And that is the greatest gift that God has given us. I could go into the metaphors. If you're drowning, who comes to get you? You don't just, come out of the water. Maybe some biblical stories, but someone in a boat comes to get you, and why? Why did they come to get you? Their own convictions. But look in your life and find these things that you feel like you need, that you want, that your children deserve, that your significant other deserves, that you deserve, like health, like a good body, like money, not an abundance of money, but enough money to do the things that that you need to have a good, happy, peaceful life. And money is just such a dumb thing to stress about, isn't it? Right? I mean, we do it so much. We do it every week. We do it every day, every minute. We think about it. We think about money, and much more of the time, the lack thereof. Why not have it? If you take control, I'm serious. This sounds like a lot of dogma in this, but I promise you, his message was held very true. If you take control of your own mind, there's no reason why you can't have anything in this life. Why you can't have the body you want. Why you can't have the health you want. The car that gives you security. The house that makes your kids feel good about their family. A good phone. There's a lot of small things that we worry about that we shouldn't worry about. Is this an Indian message in home with any of you guys? And we lie to ourselves every single day. We tell ourselves we're victims. That everything we do is just a consequence of what's happened to us in our lives. And we refuse. We're constantly, every single day, we're paying the consequence. We're paying the price of not admitting that we have control over our own minds. We're paying that huge, huge price. And stressing every single day, just falling into this quicksand of sin. Deeper than that, we're hurting the ones around us because of our own insecurities, because of what we lack, what we feel like we can never have, what we don't deserve, and we don't deserve it. But God, anything the church needs, anything the school needs, anything that your children could ever need or want or desire in this life, God has already given you those things. You just need to go and attain them. You need to take control of your own mind. Admit that you have your hands on the steering wheel. Right? Because God doesn't steer a car, right? God opens doors. Everything you do is because of what God has given us. Every decision you make is because of the great gift that God has given us to decide. Now, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying. But just hopefully you have an open mind. Maybe you hear some message in this. But there's a prayer that Carnegie talks about, the great prayer. He tells Napoleon Hill, because they did pray, despite all the things they did. He said, I'm bringing prayer with me. He said, I pray not for more wisdom. Now, it's kind of long, so bear with me. I pray not for more wisdom. Is that right? Let me read it quick. Okay, no, he needs wisdom. Okay. I pray not for more blessings. There we go. That's not better. I pray not for more blessings, but for more wisdom, in which to use the great blessing which I've already received at birth, in the form of the power to control my own mind. Now I'll say it again. Hopefully I remember it. But obviously I don't pray this enough because I don't have memory. But I pray not for more blessings, not for more stuff, not for a phone or for a car or for a house. I don't pray for that. I pray for more wisdom in which to use the blessing, the great blessing I've already received, in the form of the power to control my own mind and direct my own abilities to attain that house because of the great gift you've given me. Isn't that incredible? Well, that's pretty much all I got to say, but I guess I'll pray now. Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to speak to all these people. Thank you for everything you've showed me these past couple years of my life. And the prayer I spoke about really holds true. I don't want more things, but I want you to remind me every single day that I have control over my own mind, that I'm not a victim, that I can use the blessings you've already given me to give a life to my children that they deserve. give a life to my significant other that they deserve. And to be a greater blessing to everyone around me and to my entire community. In Jesus Christ's name I pray, amen.
Amen.